This is Matthew Kratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to answer the question, what would happen if BlackRock bought all of the Bitcoin mining machines? This was a question from Elaine, and it was in the context of BlackRock's new Bitcoin ETF, which looks like it's going to be approved by the SEC in the coming months. Now here's the answer. Just because BlackRock wants to buy something doesn't mean that that thing is necessarily for sale. And ideological Bitcoiners who run Bitcoin mining companies or have Bitcoin mining rigs in their garages will never sell to BlackRock because our ideology matters to us much more than money, because we're here to free the world from parasitical central bankers and their bootlicking lackeys like Larry Fink and BlackRock. The other thing about these ASICs, which is what Bitcoin mining rigs, the technical name for them, these ASICs are also globally distributed. They're found in every country on earth. And many of those countries hate BlackRock and American financial imperialism, and so they're not going to be selling their Bitcoin mining rigs to BlackRock either. But let's assume, just for the sake of argument, that BlackRock was indeed able to buy up every single ASIC, every single Bitcoin mining rig on Earth. What then? Well, these machines are only good for one thing, which is running the SHA-256 hashing algorithm and mining Bitcoin. So they're fairly dumb machines. They can't be used for anything else. So the logical thing to do, if you have a lot of Bitcoin mining rigs, is to mine Bitcoin with them. That gives you a return on investment and helps to offset the inevitable depreciation of the machines. And BlackRock is a profit-minded corporation, so it makes the most sense for them to mine Bitcoin and rather than do anything else with these mining rigs. If you're enjoying this video so far and finding it helpful, I just ask you to hit that subscribe button and help out the channel. But what would happen if BlackRock tries some sort of funny business and mines weird blocks that go against the Bitcoin consensus rules? Well, Bitcoin nodes run by people like you and me will not accept any blocks that violate consensus rules, and so will not add these defective blocks to our versions of the Bitcoin blockchain. And that means that BlackRock will have spent a huge amount of money on electricity and accomplished nothing with it. But let's say that under government orders, BlackRock is instead forced to unplug and store all these Bitcoin mining rigs in Larry Fink's enormous mansion basement. So there are no more ASICs running and mining on the Bitcoin network. What would happen then? Well, the Bitcoin network hash rate would massively fall as those ASICs were unplugged, and the blocks would start to come in more slowly than every 10 minutes. And then what would happen at the next difficulty adjustment, which adjusts how difficult it is to mine a new block, and the difficulty adjustment happens every 2016 blocks, or approximately every 2 weeks. So after the next difficulty adjustment, the difficulty to mine Bitcoin would automatically adjust downwards. And at that point, it would again become possible to mine Bitcoin using GPUs or possibly even CPUs as in the old days. So Bitcoin block production would continue on just fine. And meanwhile, profit-minded individuals and companies would start to build new ASICs to mine Bitcoin, and the cycle would begin again. As these are deployed on the Bitcoin network, the difficulty adjustment would slowly ratchet up again. So Bitcoin would be just fine even in this extreme scenario. But there is a community that should be genuinely worried about BlackRock, and that is Ethereum, because Ethereum is proof of stake. And under proof of stake, as we've said many times on this channel, the more coins you own and stake, the more control you have over the protocol, including block production, block creation, and deciding which transactions get included in a block. And if you have a lot of coins and you don't stake them, you get diluted out of the protocol. So if you have a lot of coins, you have to stake them. This gives you much more control over block creation. And this is not true for proof of work digital assets like Bitcoin. And this is why Satoshi did not use proof of stake. He could have done this, but instead he wanted to make Bitcoin neutral using this component of energy in the production of blocks. If BlackRock successfully creates a large Ethereum ETF, sort of as a follow-up to their Bitcoin ETF, which would be the natural next step, then BlackRock and its custodian, which has been expected to be Coinbase, at least that's what they said in their filing, BlackRock and Coinbase will be largely responsible for Ethereum block production and could easily impose their own censorship or government censorship. So at this point, Ethereum will be a completely neutered coin. This is the problem with proof of stake, and people like Vitalik, they can't look more than 2 steps ahead of their feet to see where these things trend. Basically, they neuter their coin by moving from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of stake is just so dumb at so many levels, And you don't need a PhD in math or computer science to understand this. All you need to understand is that if you get a big ETF that owns a lot of Ethereum, all of a sudden they become in control of block production. So you can safely ignore Vitalik's voodoo about the merge and the surge and the verge and the purge and the splurge. You can safely ignore this roadmap. We know where proof of stake is headed, and it's headed to more and more capture. I would say that if they're lucky, Ethereum will get sued by the SEC before they get captured by BlackRock. And if I had to guess, I would guess that Ethereum will get sued by the SEC for selling coins to institutional investors in its pre-sale. And this is the same thing that XRP got in trouble for. And in the most recent XRP ruling, this is what the judge said: having considered the economic reality and totality of circumstances surrounding the institutional sales, so sales to institutional investors, the court concludes that Ripple's institutional sales of XRP constituted the unregistered offer and sale of investment contracts in violation of Section 5 of the Securities Act. This is exactly what happened in the Ethereum pre-sale as well. Meanwhile, Bitcoin will keep doing its own thing. It's the strongest, soundest money ever discovered or created. It runs on proof of work, and it doesn't have these same problems, fortunately. It cannot even be captured by BlackRock itself. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.